Hello and welcome to the Visibly Fit podcast. I'm your host, Wendy Pett, and this is February. If you're listening to this during the time that we are recording, it's Heart Health Awareness Month. And so I have several guests this month that will tap into different areas about the heart. As well as a couple shows that I'll be bringing to the table as well. But I hope you will be blessed this month. I know you're going to be blessed by this show. It's all about how your feet and your heart connect. What do I mean? Well, you'll have to tune in to find out. But today's guest is Barbara Depta. She is the founder and CEO of Resync. And she is in the physical performance and sport recovery space. Her roster of career accomplishments includes being a stretch and structural balance coach for professional athletes, CEO and founder of the natural performance and recovery supplement line, Resync, and founder of a virtual coaching program called Beyond Stretch with a new patent pending fitness rehab product called the Core Boot. And I'll give you guys more information about that at the end of the show. You don't want to miss your savings on the special that we have for you. But her passion for sports and athletics began in childhood. And so you're going to hear her story, and she's just going to unravel kind of where she is today and how her childhood story really propelled her to be where she is today. And she actually has, she's studied all kinds of education, but mainly at the University School of Physical Education. She studied in, how do you say it? It's going to be in Poland. Oh boy, should have looked at this one. Krakow. I'm going to say Krakow. That's probably not right. So forgive me, Barbara, and forgive me, University School of Physical Education. But she was involved, learned about health sciences, and she also went to the University of Massachusetts. And she went on to become a performance coach focusing on fascia stretch and structural balance training for top professional athletes in the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, PGA, LPGA, and UFC. That's right. She was very, very involved in the performance world with professional athletes. But her experience as a coach taught her that performing one's best requires the integrated, sustained, and heightened function of every system in the body, and that physical talent alone is diminished when and if recovery protocol is ignored. Convinced that certain ingredients could fill this recovery gap, Barbara worked with nutritionists, researchers, and scientists to bring to life her next venture, her line of plant-based performance and recovery support supplements, and that is Resync. And through Resync LLC, Barbara was able to create clean, consumable products designed for everybody, not just for athletes, who desire to perform at their best, and we all do, don't we? Refuel our bodies and support multiple primary functions of our body. Resync was first developed in 2017, and today it's the most popular plant-based nitric oxide recovery blend used in professional leagues. Barbara also realized that her knowledge of the body during performance and recovery as it applied to structural balance was something that she could bring to a wider audience of both everyday athletes, that's us, that's you and me, and the general population. I'm talking everyday athletes. She talks about how we're all athletes. So tune into that one. But through Body Stretch or Beyond Stretch, Barbara began offering a series of unique online training courses and rehab videos and webinars, as well as a line of rehabilitation wearables and workout products, including her innovative patent pending Core Boot. Since balance, stretch, and flexibility start at the feet, the Core Boot focuses on the critical point that roots our bodies to the ground and sustains the pressure of our bodies, integrating our feet with core muscles and functional strength. You will be amazed at all that Barbara shares with us. Tune in, listen well, because this is going to be a valuable podcast episode. So thanks for joining us. Well, welcome to Visibly Fit Podcast, Barbara. I am so thrilled you're on the show today because as we are recording this show, it is February, it's Heart Health Month, and most people tend to think of the physical heart, right? The physical heart, which we will talk about in this show. But we all need to be very aware of our emotional heart and how it does affect the physical, and how we need to resync our heart. And I figured, ooh, I almost need to do a drum roll with that as the owner of Resync Products. Yeah, I think I really want you to just hop in right away and let's start talking about what would it mean to resync, and what are you dealing with on a daily basis when you're working with athletes and other women, and what is your passion? And so let's kind of start with who you are as a person, and why resyncing our physical and emotional heart health is important.
First and foremost, thank you so much for making me part of your family,
Yes.
making me part of your emotional growth, making me part of your Heart Month. I really appreciate it. And before I will go anywhere else, of course, I need to address, did somebody tell you how beautiful you look today?
Oh, thank you. And likewise, my friend, likewise.
It's so important that we recognize the beauty within, right?
Yes.
But how we feel here, it really shows outside.
Mm-hmm.
And, Wendy, you ask me, tell the listeners who I really want to welcome and say hello. Thank you for your time, for being here, because time is pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And time is everything to us. And time gives us a perception of how we can view ourselves and how we can actually adapt and what surrounds us and who we are. Time allows us to revisit, realign,
Resync.
reconnect, and then resync. Yes. So who I am, I came
I hear a
from
little accent. Yeah, let's talk about
oh,
where you're from.
just little. I was born and raised in Poland, south of Poland, in a small town called Racibórz. Very hard to pronounce, probably for a lot of people, and I don't expect that. It's a beautiful town with a lot of history, south of Poland, close to Czech Republic.
Okay.
And I lived there for 21 years. I decided to come to US with a dream to work with professional athletes. But before I did that, my life was surrounded, everything was by movement, athleticism, competition. And, as a child, we are being taught by our environment what do we really go after and why and how we're supposed to do it before we become our own guide in life, and we start to actually have a closure on our emotions and who we are and feel comfortable about it. So as a little, girl, 8 years old, I had quite of a bad accident. Back in the day, I looked at it and it was nasty. It was, you can see my 19 stitches right here.
Yes. If you're watching
And
on
I
YouTube, check that out.
you really cannot really, I can't pronate my forearm, right? But as a child, I was a gymnast first, and I loved movement and I loved being active, and my love, put me in a pain. And initially, of course, a breath was taken out of me. How later on I've learned oxygenation is so important to the human body, human heart, human movement,
Yes.
nervous system. But when, with that accident, that trauma, that pain lived within me for many, many years. That energy was stuck in my body. And I was never taught or never healed from, unstucking that, revisiting that event, and revisiting it with compassion, clarity, and I would say, courage, not to feel the pain, but actually to rebuild resilience. And that, of course, couldn't be done by an 8-year-old, right? Maybe with a lot of, a teamwork and a family, making you aware of what really happened, and that it could be an opportunity to your growth, an opportunity to share your story and really learn from it. And the most important, it's get to know yourself.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
think when we speak of a heart, Wendy, physically, emotionally, it's really getting to know yourself. But to get you know yourself, you have to love yourself, and vice
Amen.
versa, right?
Yes.
You
Yes.
want to love yourself, but for some reason, and I always say you need the 3 C's: the courage, compassion, and clarity of mind. How can you get to know yourself? Are you prepared for the unconditional process that you will put yourself through, and be okay, be uncomfortable before you get very comfortable? And you and I had a
Can you
chance to
repeat that
speak.
again? Because I think that that's very important, Barbara. So many people are afraid to be uncomfortable. So say that again, because someone else needs to hear that one more time.
Of course. So I am truly believer, and I've done it, and I've done this with athletes. We need to understand, appreciate, honor the process of being uncomfortable before we become comfortable.
Yes. Yes.
And pain is just a communicator, it's a servant. I like to look at pain. You serve us. Now it's up to us, Wendy, how we want to look at pain. Is it a builder or is it disconnector?
Right.
So when you injure yourself physically or emotionally, that connective tissue is being impacted. And if it's the energy negative is stuck there, it impacts our emotionally, and it changes how we think of ourselves and the world around us. It's so important for therapists, physical therapists, massage therapists, osteopaths, craniosacral people, movement specialists like myself, to really be able to clean your own environment and love and understand your own body before you touch others. Because touch has energy, just like words and our emotions, right? How powerful it is to create safe environment, right?
Right.
Safe environment for welcoming any change. And when that happens physically, when women are trying to lose weight, they're not feeling safe many times, and they are not allowing themselves to really go through the process successfully, joyfully. In
Don't you think that they
marriages,
think it's too painful? Like they don't want to even step into the pain of
but
the process of breakthrough?
I don't think they ever even envision the process. So there is misguided, and again,
Yeah, that's
our
good.
fear masks our vision,
Right.
of
That's
who we
good. That's
are, what do
good.
we want to do. So fear is we're trapped, and
Yeah.
it's, if you
Stronghold.
want to get out, love yourself, allow
Yeah.
yourself again to, that's what takes courage.
Yes.
It's so important when that layer of the pain, shame, fear, whatever is holding you back, if you can revisit that with compassion and a joy, and thinking of your purpose while you're doing it, you will meet your goals. I have no doubt. It's just really creating a safe environment when authentic, deep, powerful change can happen. Again, never regained the movement, but the lack of that movement generated a different healthy flow throughout my body and throughout my heart. Because I've learned how to empower from that pain and appreciate the body we are given, and how to take care of it nutritionally, but also emotionally.
Yeah.
So when I shared with you working with athletes, I always want them to feel, because when I can help them feel, I know I can cause a positive change. But you said feet are connected to our heart, and I want to
Yes.
pause and make that connection very evident.
Good.
Blood flow needs to go to your feet, and from your feet back to the heart. Feet in Chinese medicine are considered, especially our calf muscles, a second heart, because that's how the blood goes through your feet to your heart, from your heart all the way down. And people with poor circulation,
peripheral neuropathy, a lot of people are dealing with it. Yep.
exactly, have a challenges, cardiovascular challenges. And I'm a strong believer there's a place and time for everything. If you neglected your body so far that you need to go temporarily use some kind of a medication, please do what's right for you. But there is a way to pull back from medication.
Amen.
And go into food, into movement. Food is medicine. It really is. Majority of medicine is made of foods. Extracts,
Talk
the
in
right
my language.
the right combinations, the right standardization, the right doses. That's what really medicine is. Now, movement is medicine. Our body is meant to move. Our connective tissue, everything underneath the skin, and you said one of them, fascia, is one of soft tissues that has been ignored by our medical professionals for a very long time. And I always give people chances, and I want to compassionately approach them and say, you simply didn't know. Now that we do know, let's recognize the value of it, right? Let's not ignore it and scrape that white fuzzy stuff with scalpel. Let's actually honor it. And when you penetrate through different layers of your body, and when you are going into a hip, deeper into a joint, respect that tissue because it has a value, and it connects the ligaments, it connects the tendons, it allows the muscles to contract and relax. So if your fascia is rigid, if your fascia is tight because of emotional and physical scars that you have within your body, there will be limitation within movement, right? Again, perspective.
Right.
I look at the pandemic in a grateful way, saying you brought important points to our attention. Heart health, what it takes, that it's connected to immunity to heart health, breath, human connection.
Yes.
Just because we are physically distant, that doesn't mean we have to be emotionally distant.
Right.
And that's a huge, distinction. And I started to approach it and took the pandemic as an opportunity again to get to know myself even better.
Allows you to.
And some of us, carry better energy than others. Some of us are meant to do a healing work, and some of us are meant to embrace it, right? And there are others that are just like we said, are not ready. So with getting work done on myself for many years, I understood the value and I wanted to bring it to other people. And it was me designing programs, going to athletes, helping them hands-on and creating, movement routines prior and after practices. And then how can I do that with core boot? Well, I need to bring the awareness back to a foot, to the ground, to our foundation. And, you can use the balls in itself to open up your foot, to open up that flow, to give yourself that energy, right? And then I take you through another stages when we actually put the ball to the front of the pocket, because the boot has two pockets. One is on the front of the foot, and then one is on the back of the foot.
And the one on the front, Barbara, is the one that is affecting the heart, because that's where your heart acupuncture or pressure area is. Right?
Yes.
Since we're talking feet to heart today.
Yes. And you know what? I will create a visual maybe connection. If somebody is listening right now, if they're not seeing our faces and, my gesticulations with hands and happy faces, they can maybe close their eyes and think how, when you are gently tapping with your foot on top of the ground, how you have the possibility to speed up and influence the blood flow into your heart,
like
and
on the ball of your foot, on the little ball.
Yeah, right underneath your toes, right? Like underneath the toe, there's the ball of the foot. And that's when, when you put the core boot on with the ball on the front, you tap into that energy. Not only that, you release the tension in the connective tissue.
Love that.
And then we connect the foot with your ankle, with your hip, with your core and rest of the body. And that's powerful. That's when you understand kinesthetic intelligence. That's when you start to appreciate the dimensional strength you can generate from the ground up, and how important stability and mobility in your feet really is for staying healthy altogether. We started with loving ourselves.
That's right.
And it's the month of, heart and
Health.
heart health. And I will go back into that fully. That's what I would like to resonate, to answer your question. But I think you have
That's
one more,
beautiful.
right?
Well, I do, but I think that might be the answer, what you just said, because it would be, what would be one word that would sum up the entirety of who you are? And it might just be loving yourself, loving myself. So I think you answered them both all in one. So well done without even knowing that second question.
Thank you. No, you allowed that answer to come naturally,
Oh, that's so good.
without really even asking it. And I think that, that is also the power. Powerless, again, is in listening, right? And
Yes.
allowing that silence to generate answers for us that we didn't see coming.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I really would love your listeners and everyone in your life to get silent and get comfortable with it, and be uncomfortable being silent for a bit, because good things will come out of it.
I love that. What a great way to wrap it up. Barbara, I have such respect for you. Thank you from the
Thank
bottom
you.
of my heart during this
Thank
Heart
you.
Health Month
Thank
for
you.
coming on and spending the time with us. And stay tuned, those of you listening, because I will have Barbara's website and a promo code that you can use to get your products, because you do not want to go without that. But thank you, Barbara, for being on the show.
Thank you, Wendy, for having me. I really appreciate your time and your passion and everything you do. Please.
All right. I hope you enjoyed the show. Barbara Depta is just a wonderful human being. And so I hope you learned a lot. I know it was a long show, but there were so many great nuggets of information in there. And it's just a reminder that our heart is affected by our feet health. And so it's so important that we do something about it and take action. And so I want you to do that. I want you to take action by going to beyondstretch.com and putting in the promo code Wendy P, WENDIEP. And that's all in capital letters. It is case sensitive. And that way you can help support the show. It is an affiliate code, so I do appreciate that. And also, if you put in that same promo code and you go to resyncproducts.com, and all this will be in the show notes as well, in case you're driving or something like that, but it's RESYNC products.com. Put in that same promo code and you will receive $5 off at the checkout whenever you get the Resync products. And I love the drink, so I'm telling you, it's awesome, and it's chock full of nutrients. So check it out, and appreciate your support as well. And I believe that you will be blessed by the Resync products, and also the core boot. And yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments. So please share with us, whether it's on YouTube or if it's on social media. We appreciate you tuning in to Visibly Fit. Please share this episode with your family and friends, and God bless.